Hi and welcome to the 7th section of this course, Project D, Intelligent Enemies. In this section we'll start the final project, which will cover extensive ground. This project, unlike the previous three, will not be a fully completed game with a clear win and loss condition, but will be a functional prototype and proof-of-concept style project that highlights a range of important coding techniques and ideas prevalent in games. Specifically, we'll create a world with terrain, first-person character, and some enemies. The enemies will have artificial intelligence, AI, patrol the level searching for the player, and attack the player when found. This section will demonstrate the following topics: how to build levels and landscapes with the terrain tools, how to generate and use navigation meshes, how to prepare for artificial intelligence development. Now we'll see getting started. In this video we'll see the overview and the basics of our new project. The project to be created is a first-person prototype in which the player character can wander and explore a terrain environment. The terrain features hills, valleys and varied terrain elements. Among the terrain will be scattered several enemy characters, NPCs. Each character features artificial intelligence. Specifically, each character will wander around, patrol mode, searching for the player. If the player is sighted, the NPC will chase and pursue the player, chase mode. If during the chase the enemy loses sight of the player, they'll return to patrolling. On the other hand, if the enemy approaches the player during the chase, an enemy will attack the player, attack mode. In short, therefore, the AI features three main states: patrol, chase and attack. This, in short, constitutes the enemy AI and represents the main challenge for the player on this project. To get started from the beginning, create a new project. The details on this are covered amply in all previous sections. Throughout this project we'll be using three main asset packages included with Unity. Specifically, these are characters, effects and environment. These can be imported via the application menu through Assets, Import Packages. To start, we'll need to create the game world itself, the terra firma, which will be an outdoor, exterior environment. In other words, we'll create a game world with grassy plains, hills and mountains. Such a landscape can be made in 3D modeling software such as 3ds Max, Maya or Blender, and then imported to Unity. However, Unity features native terrain design tools that, though limited in important ways, are still powerful and versatile. To create a new terrain, navigate to Game Object, 3D Object, Terrain from the application menu. Once created, a terrain object is added to the scene at the world origin, 0, 0, 0. It may not immediately appear in the viewport due to its size. To address this, select the terrain in the hierarchy panel and then press F on the keyboard to center it in the view. It initially looks like a flat plane object, but unlike planes, it can be reshaped and sculptured, as we'll see soon. Before sculpting and shaping the terrain, you should first set some initial topological settings from the Object Inspector in order to ensure that the terrain topology is appropriate and sized to support the kind of terrain you need. To do this, select the terrain in the viewport and then click on the cog icon from the Object Inspector to display the terrain settings. By default, the terrain is too large for most purposes, 500 by 500 meters. Let's shrink this to 256 by 256, or even smaller if you prefer. Simply enter 256 in the width and length fields. The height field represents the maximum height that any terrain peak or mountain can possibly reach. For optimization reasons, the terrain should be no larger than needed, as terrain objects are highly tessellated and performance intensive. Be sure to set the terrain dimensions before sculpting, as resizing afterward can invalidate or erase sculpting work. Nice one! We've successfully learned the basics of our game. In the next one, we'll learn to create terrain construction.